Papa and I are working on a case, and we need to use the bathroom. He did. So we were by the house, we dropped in. No big deal.
Working on a
How
case
terrific.
together?
The next generation of consoles are here. Sort of. PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series S and X are trickling to doorsteps and curbside. Refresh rate, you're amazing. Lend me their Xbox Series X that they had just gotten in for a few days to get the captures I need. Resolution, exclusive on the FPS video. The Xbox consoles, however, can output 1440p at 120 FPS as well. PlayStation 5 cannot be set to 1440p, which is kind of a bummer. The Xbox Series S, however, is not actually running at 4K. Most of the games are running at 1080p or slightly above and upscaling to 4K, whereas the Xbox Series X is getting the full 4K beefy output power. But you'll get the best results with the S console by running it on a 1080p 120 or 1440p 120 monitor instead, which saves you a little bit on display as well if you're looking to use a smaller monitor versus a TV. 1080p 60, but it also a 4K 60 Pro. The AverMedia can use it in both their game capture software and OBS, or multiple OBS instances, things like that, if you want to stream and record without overlays. This is still possible with all capture cards with workarounds, just not directly adding it to OBS. If you are dead set on using a non-PCIe, a external option for this kind of capture, you pretty much only have one choice, and that is the AverMedia Live Gamer Bolt, which is a Thunderbolt 3 capture card. It uses the USB Type-C interface, but it's not just USB Type-C. It requires full Thunderbolt support, and it will work with Windows or Mac, and that will do basically everything the Live Gamer 4K does, just in a little Thunderbolt enclosure. So it still limits who can use it, but that's the only pretty much external option that you have. Now you do have other options overall here, and capture from Magewell and other companies, but these are far more expensive than the gaming capture cards from AverMedia or Elgato. If you want to play on a 1080p or 1440p 120Hz display, or 144Hz or whatever, to play in 120 FPS on your new consoles, your only USB capture card option is the AverMedia Live Gamer Ultra. This will pass through and capture 1080p up to 240 FPS, which the consoles don't support anyway, but it'll do 120, and then 1440p 120 FPS as well. If you're looking at PCIe options, then you do still have the Live Gamer 4K and the 4K 60 Pro, as well as the Live Gamer Bolt over Thunderbolt 3. And then the Live Gamer Duo will pass through these 120Hz signals, but only capture 1080p 60. So that's still an option available to you. Now, I did want to note that AverMedia's capture cards do support surround sound capture, which the Elgatos typically don't, which is pretty handy, and it can capture in full 5.1 surround sound or downmix the stereo, but it may not actually support the specific audio encoding like Dolby Atmos or whatever that your console is outputting. So your support will still be kind of